proposed FY 2025 is the budget.
Yeah.
We have a chance to look at it. Okay.
If anybody's interested in the proposed budget, the book is back here.
Mr. Baker, you want to give us some highlights? And of course, we've got our finance officer, Mr. R.J. Schmidt, right behind mine over there.
Absolutely. Can y'all hear me here? If I'm speaking to the audience right here. Okay, so on the first part of the budget we flip over, you're gonna see the revenue. Can I get a copy of that ordinance, Victor, if you don't mind? It'd be easy to speak to. If you wanna look at the budget book, we have that back there as well. Get a copy of the total general fund. So the good news is, we're gonna balance the budget. There we go, alright, I got it. So you guys have a copy of the agenda. So we have, the general funds, budget of $13,126,156. And the ARPA funds are listed there as well. For a total, for the proposed budget's on the next slide, so the source will tell you where the monies are coming from, for a total, $13,126,156. And the expenditures there are, equal, of course, but we have to. The main thing we have this year is a little different. We, of course, are going to have the loan that we had will be paid off, which that's gonna be out of the additional funds, so we don't have that payment coming out. However, we do have an additional roughly around $360,000 for healthcare increases again this year. In some conversations we've had today, kind of look at some things, we're also gonna look at, that the budget that we have there in hand does not include a raise. So what we're probably going to do is come out with a little bit of amendment to that, I would suppose, for the raise, but I think we have a way to mitigate where we can, there's some alternatives we can look at for the healthcare solution that we have, where we can basically make it where it's almost a non-issue with the healthcare increases and to give the raise, with a little bit of changing of the plan, which wouldn't drastically impact the employees, but what it does is we have about 8 people who are, they're going over $100,000 a year, basically. So out of the entirety of our employees, spouses included, of course, in that. The way to mitigate that's kind of to give a buffer. It's called Nonstop, with Blue Cross Blue Shield keeping our current provider, but it gives us a buffer where we can look at it and go, if we provide them a card that pays the first amount of their deductibles, we can increase the deductible amount that the insurance company sees. By doing so, what that does is it reduces our claims to the insurance company, even though we're paying for those deductibles up front on that with the card. What that does is it's a 2 to 3 year investment plan that will mitigate and show our risk levels lower than they currently are, because they won't get that full effect of that. And most folks, it's the 80-20 principle on this, just like anything else, where 80% of folks go to the doctor for stuff that's covered, like preventive care, the others don't. So then 20% have the high deductibles and the high cost of treatments that we have. So we're trying, that will be adjusted a little bit in there, but other than that, the normal increases in here and some of the personnel increases of where we see every time we give a raise, there's a complimentary increase in your deductibles as far as what we do for their pension and retirement program. So there's a complimentary amount on that. So revenue part stuff where we're looking at, we have seen some pretty impressive increases in revenue in a number of different areas, particularly where we're paying attention, with finance coming online with a lot of the BS&A programs, where we can now pay attention to what we're doing with who owes us taxes, who owes us, especially business taxes and things like that. That helps because we're increasing our collections on it. And those aren't increases in taxes, but those are increases where you're looking at, bonus that. So that helps the operations of the city. So we found several businesses still, as we rotate through this and automate it, that owe us 2 or 3 years of business taxes. So, and particularly honing in on the hotel motel anticipated increase in it when the hotels come online, and also looking at, the excise tax collections, where we're also paying, we're able to actually pay attention to what they're doing and do a comparison to see, I don't think that's exactly how much you're selling, maybe we should do a little audit, so. But, any questions? Follow up? Hey, Jimmy.
How you doing, sir?
I've got a couple statements. This particular budget year, this is why this one's still wide open. In other words, we're gonna try. Not really sure on, when it gets implemented, but here's kind of what the game plan is. So you're gonna see this in a slide presentation that we'll do, I guess, is that part of the work session?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is our 911 response times coming through Clayton County is very slow. Let's wait and do that.
I'm just gonna pull it up.
And years ago, we also did one additional thing, which is now just becoming popular, but back at a time, so let's say you're a 911 operator and you have, 5 cars out on the street. In the old days, back when Barney Fife was still doing stuff, they just simply called, and then whoever, wanted to pick it up would then come to your house or whatever was necessary. Eventually, they figured out to be able to reduce the response times, they could actually see your car with GPS on the screen. And so they would know that, Renee is much closer than John, he's right there, so that dispatcher would go directly to Renee and be able to say, I've got an issue on Duffy Drive. And that reduced the response time a pretty good bit, gave you a lot of interconnectivity. When we changed over to Clayton County, with all the good intentions in the world, that is one of the pieces that's just not provided. Also, a number of other cities are on that same frequency, and, depending on what's going on in some other city, you're not getting the priority you may wish. And in other words, it may be an emergency priority to somebody else, but it's still a very important priority to you. And you might not see that car dispatch. Now, don't even worry about when the car shows up, you still gotta get that, but it may have dispatch that car for anywhere from 3 to 5 to 7 days, which depending on what happened, is a very long time. So we're looking at, is it even financially feasible for us to get that back? Trying to use more updated technologies, which may make it, cost effective, let's just say possible. Is it something we can accomplish in a year? We do have contracts with Clayton County and Clayton County 911. We have to give them the proper notice. We ultimately have to staff it. We have a few other things. It's obviously been done before, but you're gonna start to see that in these budget items. So, most of the time you say this is absolutely what is gonna happen. What I would say in this case is council will strive to achieve. So we don't have something that says it has to be done by June 31st or it has to be done by the end of the year. What we should say is let's use, the most cost-effective, logical, wise, decision-making processes to try to implement this. And at any point we reach a conclusion that it's just either not possible or not financially feasible or whatever other reason, we would have the ability to walk back out. But obviously we're not walking into it without, trying to implement it. And then that would bring your 911 system back to Mara. And, before we had a partner in Lake City, would Lake City be interested in that partnership again? Good question. What terms would they choose? Good question. We had 911 plus fire department. Is that something we're willing to offer? Good question. But we have to answer the questions for Mara first. And then anything that we can do after that, if we have capability, capacity, then certainly, Lake City's been a good partner in the past. But that's the goal, and that's not so well written in that budget you see. So there's gonna be some additional discussions over the next few weeks. Obviously, there'll be some budget amendments or changes that would happen. But because it's a public hearing, and there's only like 4 of you, 5. We get to sit there and go, all of you have been around long enough to remember when we had the 911 system in Mars. Hopefully you didn't have to use the 911 system, so that way you wouldn't really have been impacted by it. a little bit tough, and it's an average, of course. What's easier to respond to is when you would say GPS first available. You can visualize that in your head. You can go over there and go, I know where Renee's car is, I know where John's car is. He's at South Lake Mall. It's gonna be 20 minutes before he can get through traffic or whatever. But that makes sense. Now you see a reduced amount of time to get to your house. Once they get to the house, you gotta know. Any comments or questions from the public on either the budget, what our game plan is? Obviously, it is still a work in progress. So I know those people that said this budget's already been decided and everything's inked in stone. Not this year.
You know, I think, especially with the building of the education system, I mean, there's going to be a huge increase. So we just have to have patience till we can get up to Mount Everest. We're just climbing a day at a time. And that's the only way we can get there. So, you know, with the new hotels coming, new building, everything is an increase.
We'll get a little bit here.
Somebody said something about they wanna build these, who was saying, Wayne or somebody that, like that health clinic or something.
Oh, no, that's
over there,
not
not here.
where Barnes and Noble was.
Oh,
Oh.
That health clinic is for, being able to make it so the wrinkles go away.
Oh, yeah,
So it's like facelift surgery, not that kind of health clinic where John's got a cold, nope, this is when John wants to look good.
Sometimes I stretch my face
Yes, that Botox is one of them too, but it's definitely a for-profit, not covered by insurance type of medical facility.
Oh, wow.
He's got 4 in Metro Atlanta.
I'll go ahead and pay.
Okay.
So for all of you who might be thinking a few wrinkles need to go away, I don't know if they post their prices or not, but
Okay.
coming soon to a theater near you.
You know, my baby died,
Yeah,
something
anything.
years old, and he never had a wrinkle.
Alright.
But you know what? All of
We
you
will,
like-
close out the public hearing. Any questions?
Yeah.
I have no questions.
Alright, we will.
But Wayne Collins, man.
Alright, Wayne, you're on the spot. What do you think? What do you think of the budget? Is it good?
Yeah, you good.
This is. We'll be back at 6:30.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Jay.
So they still think I-
How you doing there, Wayne? How you doing, brother?
I don't want to go tax.
Everybody good?
Yeah. $7 back to school.
Good.
Yeah, I'll come see you on 3.5. Okay. Taking another course or something. I've got what she's done. She's got to be in book in a nose in a book all the time.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
No,
He's asking if he can maybe do
Yeah.
that for us.
What's happening?
That we can ready for the.
He's at the plan.
We don't know how, we know that's you like.
Yes.
I used to see Alice.
One,
You know in there, like.
right after we had the meeting, we approved the
But this time
contract for
she
these.
said, well, maybe he can build
He
these.
sold the house.
Kinda like this,
Somewhere around here,
with all that. flat. And
$595,000.
I've been looking
Who's the building?
some kind of phone,
Maybe some-
and I've been looking yesterday, they
Never heard that. They did that there for you.
I mean, the red, she was
Hey, you have to get on that roof, clean the roof off.
Yeah.
say, we can.
How you doing, sir?
How are you?
Hey, thanks, sir. How you doing? Good.
That's, hi baby, you doing all right? Family doing
Oh, we
okay?
had a meeting with what's her name?
All right.
Wow, that's beautiful.
We're gonna.
Yes. So.
Blackwater.
These are gonna be nice. Turn it over, turn it over.
Why you calling my house a rental? You gotta go to my house, I have a good Yeah, we gotta open off my house.
Yes. See?
And all that, germs. His grandmother, his mom.
Back here, stand up, so all the way back. I'll take you back there. Okay, go get it.
What's up, Frank?
Yes, sir.
Even over.
Since we missed the, fire department, when is recognition for next week in public works? I thought it was in September. How did I get this?
Next week, what?
Oh, I got one.
How did I mix this up? I told it's in August.
So far, so good.
My mind is just, I guess when this Dr. Giant mentioned, my mind just went
Right
crazy.
over the other day, treating
Brandon, you gotta send that to me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Send it to her.
Yes, yes.
But tell me, the senator.
On the Friday, okay, so,
What you cooking?
okay, so the kickoff is Monday. Okay, so Monday, breakfast. Okay, so you just send me the names, numbers. He sure has grown. But even, you know, with the, Yes, my mind is blank. So the breakfast sausages like tomorrow.
Ours is always right after Peter.
Really?
When it falls, right after. We should have been first. The poll works in the Peter.
Okay.
Okay, come on, baby, I'll take you back there. Thank you, Brandon, for telling me, cause I sure was messed up on that one. Dinner?
Oh, I know, man. I know it'd be muddy as hell. No, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm good. Yeah, they're good.
They look good.
They weren't there till me.
That right there should be.
I appreciate it. I'm taking all the good candy out right now.
Coconut.
I have no issue with coconut, it's just almond joy.
Yes, and I thought about
I
you.
use the mangoes, but they're dark chocolate.
Oh, you don't like Mountain?
Memorial Service.
You might actually be the first person that likes almond.
Because they never had it. And then they were trying to cheese and all this other stuff. No, and I said, I guess what my name is, they said, no way, I said, yeah. I saw that, I instantly thought about you. But you beat me to it.
What up, good night? Doesn't matter, you guys, it's supposed to be an inside.
Take them way back here, they're usually up there in the third row.
We can see from back here. Before, they just like being in your way.
I like her to be that way, that way can what's going on, you know? So are y'all the new people? Yes. Yes. So about it.
Sadly, no, they left.
Everybody's gone. Y'all.
It's, there's one more, but they just made 2 people today.
Who's the other person?
His name is Doc, he's,
He's new too.
yes.
What's happening?
There you go, Cat.
Touches all that, clean my hands on them. I know. On the front?
Yeah, you can sit there.
Okay, so one's facing. Not gonna look at that. Because they keep getting out of their garage, it's gonna be on the back side. And I have no idea where to figure that.
That's beautiful. That's first class right there. First class stuff right Jesus Christ.
No, I don't think so. But glad it's not.
What's up, brother?
You got the phone number, right? Hey, Lottie.
Right.
Get it right. All in one day. Who's that? We talking about midnight? That's midnight. Cause don't nobody.
I'm bringing an appetite.
I told you, we didn't get it.
You come down there and
They're delicious.
Jimmy, you know we cool. Yeah, we cool.
Down there, this, they let me cook.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta be out. They ain't giving me no registration, they telling me that. They know what they're gonna do.
And maybe they're telling you.
They'll be back.
I ain't on about 4 or 5 different minutes. Great.
That's a no.
I'll delete everything.
I was the only one out there that time. I seen y'all's picture on Facebook. Hippie Fest, there, she was back in the '60s. Had her flowery headband on, her dangling jacket, toe tips out, you just plain Jane.
That's him, he doesn't
He doesn't anticipate.
Now, hey, one of our sons is together, right at home. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's your wife. Oh, bless her. Pretty much. Miss, how you doing? Viper, he put on a little viper just nice to meet you, Jean. Oh. That was it. Right, it's funny when it's viper.
Yeah.
He doesn't play games.
Actually,
Period.
Make them take a souvenir, right?
So, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, that way we get all the shows. So I said, just leave it over there. Sure, everywhere you stay.
That's right. He's got it.
Y'all made, they real hard to do.
He's got a wardrobe.
Well, I got a
Same.
Happy birthday or this and that, my daughter did the kids t-shirt. Mine, you ain't got it.
No, ma'am, I wouldn't mind.
Don't mind the way. Okay.
It's cool.
She's looking at the candy.
But I live.
Straight off of Mrs. Lammel's oven right there.
Good, good. Croissants and Mayor White made. I came to the right end.
Oh, I have. Five years, one shot. I had to go to Jones for a council.
Yeah.
I'm being my perfect wife.
You want some coffee? Coffee? These are good.
Really are.
I bet. How you doing? How's the new kid? Still doing okay?
He's doing okay. He's driving us crazy at times. I have to put his toys up at night.
I don't know.
Really?
Yes, because you wake us up in the middle of the night. Like,
When? Was there something in it?
but,
They're good.
but they're good.
Yes.
And,
Just wonderful.
so I put his toys up in a closet where he can't get to them. And so the first night, clunk, 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 clunk. He tightened my plastic soda about a pound when it was
We're
playing.
gonna go and start our work session.
So I have to put my cover.
Oh, no, you're good. Y'all got the best part. For those who don't
Oh,
know,
it is.
usually our work sessions don't last very long. And then we go into our regular meeting at 7:30. And I always remind you to get some really good coffee. So my wife today was picking on me and decided to make some handmade croissants.
Tell them they're good.
But to kind of back up that Juan Valdez was going at it, which might be a little bit big. But you're welcome to it in the back. Enjoy. I think you're gonna find it very good. That might explain why I was messed up. Items on the agenda, approval and adoption of the April 23rd regular minutes and work session minutes. Any issues, comments, questions? Hearing that. One item's going to be removed from the agenda. It was New England's Dental Lab. They've been in the city, or has been in business for 40 years. And I just heard he signed his lease. He's going to be here for a long time, but he's not able to be here today. And he's going to move that to the next meeting. When the meeting starts, we have a 20-year service pin to Marty Tristan, who's phenomenal with planning and zoning. City one time. Presentation of the winners for Georgia City Week. We'll have presentations for that as well. Public hearing, we went through just one briefly concerns? Just gonna hang out back there, Mr. Booker?
No, sir, I'm coming right, I was just checking on our. Back there to make sure they're.
Oh, y'all passing notes and everything, I thought, well, this will be good. I'd like to call the order, May 14, 2024, regular session of the Bar City Council to order. If you will stand for the pledge of allegiance. Oh, I'll stand for a second. Stand for the pledge of allegiance, followed by a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do I hear a motion to end the executive session? Do I hear a second? All those in favor say aye, Ms. Stain? Ms. Dean?
Yes.
Mr. Clark? Aye. And Ms. Swin?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're gonna ask for the amendment of the agenda to, we've got one removal under presentations number 1, Women's Dental, Dr. Jeff Cullen, 40 years of business. He was not able to, had a conflict, so we'll excuse that. We would like to add item 1, which will be a vote from executive session. Do I hear a motion to it? And then we will have a swearing in following that. Do I hear a motion to amend the agenda? Do I hear a second? All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight? Mr. Clark? Ms. Dean? And Ms. Swin?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval and adoption of the April 23rd, 2024 regular minutes and work session minutes. You have those before you. Do I hear any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve? Do I hear a second? Motion probably seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight? Mr. Clark? Ms. Dean? And Ms. Swin?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 1, as from executive session, do I hear a motion to approve? Do I hear a second? Motion probably seconded. All those in favor say aye. Ms. Knight? Mr. Clark? Ms. Dean? And Ms. Swin?
Aye.
Motion carries. It is now my pleasure to swear in the new associate judge to the city of Marlboro. You'll come forward. Bring your family. We normally don't have as many displays. Whichever side is the best, then you can put your whole family in the picture. You don't get to do this very often. So I'm going to read the oath of office for the municipal court judge, associate municipal court judge for the city of Marlboro. I, Sheila Holmes,
I, Sheila Austin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office
will faithfully execute the office
of municipal court judge
of municipal court
of the
judge
city of Marlboro.
of the city of
And I
Marlboro.
will, to the best of my ability,
And I will, to the best of my ability,
support and defend
support and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
the Constitution of the state of Georgia,
the Charter,
the charter,
ordinances, and regulations
ordinances and regulations
of the city of Marlboro,
I, Victor Aguilar, clerk of the city of Morrow and for Forsyth County, hereby certify that Sheila Hudson was duly appointed and sworn in as a municipal court judge of the city of Morrow Municipal Court by and through its mayor and council to the extent covered by the city charter and Georgia law.
Well, this is better, I didn't forget anything. My husband forgot our wedding vows on our wedding day.
Just the one section.
Yeah, he forgot.
Was that your favorite part?
Kind of close.
Thank you, are we free to leave?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah,
Now this one is something we've been waiting 20 years to do. And that is a 20-year service period, Marty Tracy, planning and zoning.
He said something.
Well, that's why I wasn't there. 20 years of service. The certificate is awarded to Marty Tracy for 20 years of service to the city of Marlin. The mayor and council hereby thank you for your dedication, service, and loyalty this 14th day of May, 2024. Been a long time. This one is a little bit fancier written. It says your dedication and talents, are beyond inspiring. Thank you for everything that you do for the mayor and city council of Morrow. Marty.
The thing that's most important to me to share with you all, which I've said on numerous occasions, the person I thank most for my presence here, the impact that Morrow has had on my life, is John Ample. Back in 2004, I moved into a neighborhood in Morrow. This tall, good-looking young man kept coming to the crowd meetings I was having at the house. And he didn't do way too much about the city, it was him. And the opening for a full-time code enforcement officer came up, and I expressed an interest, and here you go. Thank the citizens who have gotten through the ups and downs of working for a government, like Cherry Crisp was one of the first ones that gave me support and encouragement. Wayne Collins, one of the ones who first irritated the heck out of me. I love him, Wayne Collins. And now I have neighbors like Wendy and Terry. This is my home. If you need anything, neighbors, just call me here in City Hall. I'll be here as long as I'm able and as long as they let me. Thank you very much. And council, if you'll excuse me, as you all know, we have an elderly person we care for and got a scoot. This is great. Thank you so much.
Also get a chance to see some younger folks in the audience. How y'all doing? You doing good? So we're gonna do some presentation of winners for the Georgia Cities Week and the color. And I think they have a slide presentation as well. what new technology is. It takes 3 people to turn it on.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, citizens. As you know, it's the time of year again where the Georgia City Weeks, which is hosted by the Georgia Municipal Association, which is the association that represents the 530 cities in the state of Georgia. And they do a week of highlights to represent the services that many cities offers its citizens. We did have 2 contests that we opened, and we did this last year, was our first year doing it, this is our second year. It was the coloring contest and the essay contest. We did get a number of submissions, so I'm just gonna quickly, before I present the winners, I'm gonna show a PowerPoint and the background on the overall process. So as you can see, the rules of the contest, and if you see in the top corner right, that was the picture that was open for the teams to participate in. It's similar to last year, but this year's theme was soaring to new heights. Last year was being so lighting the way. And the contest was free to open, of course, and it was open to children from age 5 to 12. As long as they reside within Clayton County, they were eligible to participate. In here, you'll see the breakdown of the overall submissions. From BC Haney, we had a total of 43 submissions submitted. Morrow Elementary, we had a total of 2. MD Roberts, we had middle school, we had a total of 1, and Fountain Elementary School, we had a total of 6 this year compared to last year. Really, the middle school submitted also 6. In total, we had a submission of 58 submissions for the contest. Some of the judges, as you can see, are the same from last year. Ms. Lana was not a judge, I'm sorry, but I just thought she looked very good in the picture. Not to use it again. But, of course, you know, we remain as partial as we could. So, of course, Alan, Professor of Arts from the Department of Visual and Performing Arts at Tennessee University, again, was one of the judges. And then we had Ms. Essie West. And then we had 3 of our advanced staff, which is Ms. Sharon Wynn, Kimberly Summerlin, and Dennis.
Actually, could have hurt you for that picture.
And right here, the pictures that you see is the overall process that was used also, which was similar to this year of the breakdown of the judges. Again, Ms. Lana, I have to use her again because she looked very concentrated last year. So they reviewed them, went thorough, and submitted their finalists. So this time, I'm gonna go ahead and present the winners. So our first place winner is Kaylee Dorji, 6th grade from age 12 from MD Roberts. And she actually was our 3rd place winner last year. So this time, Kaylee Dorji, may you please come up. The pictures to go from left to right. So it starts with the left. Is the 1st place, then 2nd place, and then 3rd place. But I have also a frame right here of Kaylin's picture. And the judges were very impressed because, as you guys can see, she highlighted what I would say is Morrow 2024. She used logo of every business that has opened since 2024. It's top as T365, TNT Nails, and then I don't know if you guys see that person out there. Our 2nd place, yeah, the mayor being there had nothing to do with her placing. It was just very creative. Our 2nd place winner is Oliver Soberanis. He is in kindergarten and he is age 5 and he's from BC Haney Elementary School. Here's his submission. And our 3rd place winner is Abigail Cervantes from BC Haney Elementary School, age 9th grade 3rd. And here's her submission. At this time, the mayor is going to represent them with their certificates and a little gift card that we got for them. Their pictures will also be hanging for the remainder of the month in the lobby of City Hall, so anybody's welcome to come and see the great artists and how they express themselves. Thank you.
I really enjoyed that first place picture, not just simply because I was in it. But I saw that one early and I posted it on my personal account, but I told you, I said I wasn't a judge and the contest is already over. But that was really good work. And when you look at the age brackets of the kids that were involved, you know, this is where it all starts. You know, we have a number of contests. We want you to be interactive in your community. You're probably one of the bigger reasons we're all here. Right? We're worried about tomorrow just as we were worried about today, but thank you for coming. Now we move on to the boring stuff, which is money. Public hearing, we had one earlier, and it's being presented, so we got the 2024-01. This is the first reading of the proposed budget for 2025. We pretty much had the discussions. And it's your first reading, so you want to just give us a quick synopsis?
Yes. Pull up this is not on the schedule. As usual, as required by law, we have to have that balanced budget. No tremendous increases. Of course, we're suffering under the usual things of most are, as far as the increases in healthcare, which is probably the most substantial, unexpected increase. Essentially, we're looking at a general fund revenue of $13,126,156 and a complementary expenditure of $13,126,156 as required by state law for a zero-sum balanced budget. No major expenses this year as far as capital expenditures. Projects are coming out of SPOS and other allocated capital expenditure funds, so pretty standard budget for us.
There is a copy of the budget on the right-hand side as you walk out the door. You're welcome to work with the city clerk if you need some additional information and you want copies of those. Because we already went through a public hearing and we already pretty much asked anybody in the audience, but unless there's somebody else with any comments on the budget, there is another hearing and there will be the second reading following city council. One thing that is a little bit different is most people assume by the time we get to this stage, you know, that it's pretty solid. But because we're having some discussions about potentially getting back into the 911 system, you know, there's some fluidity that's going to be required. So we're working on the details, and from those details, deciding, you know, how that implementation will go. Everything that was explained earlier from staffing, to being able to appropriately and cost effectively, you know, get the equipment that's necessary, to make sure that we have the training and the other types of things. So it's not something that has to be done by tomorrow. We do have a contract with Clayton County. We've got to work within the means of how that contract is written. You know, but based on the presentations and the things from the top level staff, you know, the city of Marl is going to strive to achieve the ability to, once again, host our Senate for a lot of different reasons, which obviously the money. So that being said, one other thing I'd like to point out is the little pictures there that we've been walking around. You know, the city hasn't built a new residential subdivision in over a decade. You know, prior to that, we built about 5. Prior to that, we hadn't had new houses in 30 years. You're starting to see some construction again, not just commercially, but you're now starting to see it residentially. So the Development Authority of the city owns the corner of Meadowbrook and Lake Harbin, and kind of explain that property in detail. Was probably about 15 years ago, that corner was unincorporated Clayton County, and it was being purchased for a gas station, which, you know, this city and the residents in that area felt would be an inappropriate use, but it was not in the city. There wasn't a whole lot we could do about it, at least, you know, from the standpoint of zoning protections and things like that, with the potential to lose the entire block all the way to Pleasant Valley in terms of that curve. So today, that's what you should see, the police on Strip Center. I don't think would have served a lot of purpose. So the city purchased the property, one of the best ways to solve the problem, you own the problem. Paid a little bit higher than residential rate for it, and we've dealt with that property now for a long time. In that time period, we designed a small subdivision, 10-home subdivision. We worked with, the planning and zoning board, we worked with the city council, we worked with our citizens, to come up with what we felt was an appropriate, addition to the neighborhood, something that had a back alleyway to it, so it didn't really add that many driveways either around or to Meadowbrook or onto Lake Harbor. There was a private individual, private sector LLC that we worked with at one time. That LLC, that deal particularly fell apart. But we have, inked as of last night, this is Blackwater Construction. And they will build the houses that you see there. My understanding is they'll start just a little north of $550,000. There will be 3-car garage, double masters. A very good addition to the city of Marl. Specifically for those. Because you need a little bit of housing for everybody. Maybe not everyone needs something that large. And, we've lost a number of citizens because we didn't have new construction. They wanted a new house. Now we're headed toward making that happen. So you should see the signs show up in Meadowbrook, hopefully in the next couple of days. And, you'll see some dirt being turned over there. And, we anticipate, maybe not necessarily by this specific builder, but we anticipate working with other builders, on other projects in the city. So you will have both residential and commercial construction, moving forward where you can physically see it. Cool. And so we certainly appreciate all those that are forward. Questions from the audience?
We have actually a small smidgen of the fire safety video, I think. Probably just want to like, public.
I'm sorry about that, Brian.
Like that, so we gotta get there on this thing.
Long's coming. Don't ask me. I just shoot.
You wanna do the UTV or the other one, or both?
You got, whichever one you like to do, either one of the, both of them are safety related.
Okay, so this time the UTV, I just let it play for you.
For those that aren't residents, Mark, that is the city's, trail system.
So Lieutenant Murphy is a state certified ATV, UTV instructor, so that's why we got him to pick everybody off, so we're all certified in how to drive it. I think it was a forward move by the city to purchase this. Our trail system has grown, it's getting more traffic on it. We have Reynolds Nature Reserve to protect, part of that anyway. So if we have a fire in one of those areas where somebody needs to be rescued, now we have a vehicle to access those areas. So, and also you'll see it at the district that our, big events down there will be on standby for down there as well. So, thank you again, Mayor and Council, for making that decision. Great, great move. All right, next.
Chief,
Yes.
on the, are you able to, carry someone and explain how that?
Yep, so on the, if I started again, can I stop it?
Yeah.
here, this is a flat, area where we can put a patient, we won't put them directly on that, we have what's called a Stokes basket, which is a big plastic, patient area box, which will slide on there and extract them through that area. And it has a fire pump, 70 gallons of water, and a 100-foot hose for fighting fire as well. So. All right, the next one I'm gonna show you, is a fire that we had about a week and a half ago at a spa. And spas use oil in their business, you know, when they're giving massages or whatever. And so oil will build up on the cloths and all that they're using over time. And you wash it in water, but we know water and oil doesn't mix, so you never wash all the oil out. So over time, that oil builds up and it can start a fire. So this call was about 2:30 in the morning, and we got the call as a water flow alarm, which means a sprinkler head is activated. We get those a lot, and they're usually false alarms, just a water pressure change, or last night we had one at Beauty Mass for a forklift, hit a pipe, water's going everywhere, so the alarm went off. So they're almost always false alarms, but this one, the units arrived and had smoke in the building. So I'm gonna show you this video. It's an hour and a half condensed into like 2 minutes, okay? So it's sped up a lot until we get to the end, and then it goes in real time. So I'll show you what that looks like.
Is this the actual video from?
Yes. I had a camera, so this is the basket of towels. The owner washed the towels, it dried them, she got them out the dryer about 6:30 or 7:30 before she left. So this was midnight, it's actually 1 o'clock when the video starts. See the smoke starting to come into the room now. All of a sudden it ignites. Watch what's about to happen. Sprinkler head overhead activates. And within about 10 seconds, the fire went out. The water in the camera system stopped the cameras from working. That's why the video stopped right there. Sprinklers do work. That one's perfectly located. It's up in the ceiling right here above the laundry basket. So the only damage she had was this area right here with the cabinets. The only fire damage she had. She did have water damage and smoke damage throughout. But it's still a lot easier to reopen after something like that than it is if you don't have a sprinkler system and the building burns up. So it's been a lot longer before we got the call on that. So the lesson learned here is, you probably heard, you don't keep oily rags around, because they can get the right mixture in there and they're piled up. She probably dried them on high, which got them a little warmer than normal, and then they just sat there and started having this chemical reaction, and 6 hours later, it kind of fire. So spontaneous combustion, it rarely happens. I've been doing this over 40 years, it's the third time I've seen it. Any questions? Yeah. Roughly, yeah. Since you left at 7.
Comments from citizens? I know y'all are not that quiet. Not hearing that, comments from the city council.
What did you say, comment?
We can't do it.
So our franchise fees under revenue, where we put?
Which line are you looking at? The franchise. Sorry.
I saw a hand in the back, Ms. Cherry.
While y'all went to executive session, I asked Mr. Collins if he'd straighten out the American flag up there, cause it's kinda all twisted around. Guess what? Dry rotted, do you think we could get a new one?
Sure.
It actually fell down. He did manage to get it where it looks like it's right. Probably the same thing with the Georgia state flag, it's probably not any good either, so it'd be nice if we could buy 2 new ones.
We got it.
Number 2. On Friday, April the 26th, as I was going to the grocery store coming across the railroad track. Okay, on April the 26th, I'm going to the grocery store and coming across the railroad track, and all I see is flags going around this property. We live in the city of Moore, state of Georgia, United States of America. That is our flag, not this one, that one, this one, that one. And it needs to stop. I've heard a lot of military people complaining, but I haven't seen nobody stand up and complain.
Well, we have a very diverse community.
I realize that, but we don't have to put that many flags up.
I agree. But there were several people there that were there for a reason. And we honored the reason they were there. Other questions? Any comments? Mr. Clark?
No comments.
Ms. Dean?
I do have a comment, but I would like to, have one of our citizens to make a statement about an event that just happened. It's, something that, I think needs to be heard. Mr. Collins, if you tell us about a good deed.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Dean. On, Victor, what day was it? The 8th, the 9th? On the 9th of this month, we went to Calvary, Refuge, homeless shelter over in Forest Park to feed the homeless veterans and, women and children that were, housed there on a temporary basis. And a feel-good story came out of that, and I have to give the credit to Miss Jennings, our adjutant. She encountered a young reservist who was homeless with a 7-year-old child. The reservist had come down from Chicago on the thought that her brother was gonna take her in. But when she got here, the brother was homeless as well. So she ended up over at Calvary Refuge. So with Miss Jennings' initiative, she was able to get the young lady housing for a year in our Veteran Farm Ward Genesis House, which is in Warner Robins, Georgia. They're also gonna help her with employment opportunities. So my hat goes off to the DFW Pulse of Moore, and especially to Miss Vicky Jennings.
Thank you. Firstly, I would like to recognize this month is May, is, Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, 1 month thing. So with that, Family Literacy has earned a grant, for bilingual books. So by, the little library by June 29th. And then also, if you know any community, rural area, any park, any city that need little library, just contact the Family Literacy website, to request, the little library. Like they say, that way it will eliminate books, book desert in a little library at the time, so that's their quote right there. That's all I have, and thank you.
I'm good. Police officers appreciation. So,
All starting next week, EMS and public works.
well, we still have, any of the police officers still here with this? Oh, scene. Sure, yeah. That's a good recovery. But we can still thank the fire department because they're still here. All good, meeting adjourned.